Tuesday night. It is great to be with all of you. Kevin Walsh joined by Gabe Morency. Nice little baseball card for us to work through. The return of the WNBA as well. And, of course, Gabe's favorite basketball league, the TBT, will command a little bit of attention. Gabe, how are you?
Yeah, we're ready to rock. And speaking of rock, and all hell broke loose last night in the TBT in Wichita with the Kansas Jayhawks and the Wichita State Shocker alums going head-to-head. But it was a former Central Michigan player that started the brawl, and 2 people ended up in the hospital. There could be criminal charges coming, actually. And, you know, Kevin, I think the TBT likes the fact that they got a bunch of attention, but this isn't really the type of attention that you want to get. And the Aftershocks have apologized right now. But we got another game tipping off right now. And last night I was on the Roses, right? The Rose Ready War team. And we cashed the ticket with them, barely. They won 65-63. They blew the late lead. They barely hung on. I've noticed, Kevin, teams that go back-to-back in this TBT, it's not easy for them. Depth becomes a problem going back-to-back. So I think Davis Steele are the play in this early game. Tip it off right now. Give me Davis Steele on the money line tonight, TBT right now.
All right, so Gabe is going to rock with the slight favorite as what we see there on our TBT slate that opens here. I know tomorrow the much-anticipated Kentucky-Kansas match will take place. Major League Baseball-wise.
Better have extra police in the building. Dude, Kansas got into it with K-State. Then they got into it with Wichita State last night. I don't think, I'm pretty sure the TBT doesn't want another national story and a big-time brawl and people ending up in the hospital or lawsuits and everything. But, man, that's going to be fire, Kevin. Semifinal, 1 game. Winner goes to the $2 million championship game. Kansas versus Kentucky.
Did they, Gabe, I mean, listen, you're paying a lot more attention to it. I mean, JXX, they're not currently worried about any suspensions or penalties for, I mean, let's be like, it's not good for them that
they were the ones.
Hospital. Like,
I think that they lost a player out of this. I do think a player is going to be out and got injured.
Yeah.
Marcus Keene started punching people, and it was like they were like bowling balls at one point. Like a whole mass of people went down, and there were a lot of just sort of wild swinging and stuff. But no, the Jayhawks crew, they're okay. They were the ones that got attacked, even though they're the ones that did taunt the crowd after and stuff.
Yeah.
Frank Mason got punched by an old man, too. Like, it was Malice at the Palace style. The thing is, Kevin, they cut away from it on the broadcast. We didn't see it. There were fights during the game with the players, but after the game, all hell broke loose, except as it was starting, they were like, all right, thanks for joining us tonight, and they cut out. And so now you're seeing all the different, like, angles and stuff like that. But, hey, listen, nobody wants to see a girl end up one of the athletic trainers for Kansas is in the hospital with a broken nose and a fractured orbital bone. Nobody wants to see that. And Marcus Keene could be getting a visit from the police like any hour right now. Like, word is she's going to press charges.
Well, right. I mean, listen, I wouldn't imagine he ever plays in the TBT tournament again. We do have the WNBA returning tonight. Pretty good slate here. There's
they
a couple
fight
of
a
really
lot there,
interesting
too.
spots. They don't fight like that, though, Gabe. Let's call it what it is. The Lynx laying this really big number to the tempo. We'll talk about that. I just wanted to quickly with the baseball, because there's games live right now. I did play an under in Detroit, Baltimore. Listen, 2 runs early for Detroit, not how I drew it up, but Melton, the better pitcher. Hopefully he does his part. I am set to get, I don't know, burned isn't the right word, but wasting time potentially in this Nationals Blue Jays game. I'm actually on the dog. I took a shot here with Shane Bieber at plus 120 in the nation's capital here. Toronto are playing a bit better. We followed this team really closely last week. It felt like every time we were on, they were on type of situation there. And I think Bieber against Cavalli's close enough that plus 120 on Toronto was worth a little bit here. I'm involved with Cardinals, Cubs a little bit later on, Gabe, but that's my two early baseball positions.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. You know, the Jays are in a weird spot right now. Their season really isn't completely over yet. Word on the street is a couple of their pitchers are potentially available, and it's pretty emotional. There's something about that team that guys do like and love. Like, basically, Gossman was in tears. Like, I don't want to get traded, like, type deal. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bieber, same thing. Bieber took a discount to stay there. He doesn't want to get dealt. Like, all these dudes are almost like, you know, we got to start winning, so we change, we change their mind, right? Let's start winning some games. We should know, like every other game, it seems this week, Kevin, is in a delay, that game. So we're going to have a little bit of a pause for Washington and Toronto. Listen, last night the Yankees got me, man. You know, we had the early start with the White Sox. A bunch of runs were scored. Yankees end up winning the game. And I hate zigzagging. Like, you know what I mean? I hate being on like one, I like this team one night. Oh, now I like the other team, and now I like that team again. But I played the number last night, and I lost, right? Looked good early. We ended up losing when it was said and done. I'm playing the number again tonight. In the same way, Kevin, I had to play the White Sox at plus 127 last night. How do I not play Garrett Cole at minus 115? I think it might be up to minus 120 right now, but at that price, I've got to get a piece of Garrett Cole.
I don't blame you. It's a really, really tempting price. The total was interesting to me. We're kind of sitting at this 8. There was a part of me that wanted to play the over, but I don't want to get tricked by the Yankees scoring 9 runs last night. You know, I kind of joked about the Yankees winning that baseball game. And look, baseball, you'll take them how you get them, right? But I didn't come on here and be like, oh, Gabe, don't worry about it. The Yanks are going to score a ton. It was 3-0 at the bottom of the first. And I went, okay, well, they lost. I didn't think they would have, you know, the required offense to get back into that game. They ended up putting up 9. So it was a nice job by them. We'll see if they carry that momentum over here. The Phillies ended up blowing that game, you know, incredibly against Miami last night. So it snapped the Marlins streak and then handing the baseball to Alcantara to start a winning streak. I've said this before. I don't mind fading Sandy because he still gets booked with a level of respect that I don't associate the Miami Marlins with. But even I couldn't grab Aaron Nola at price. He's bad. I mean, he is not a legitimate major league starting pitcher for a contending baseball team. Like, Aaron Nola is not an option for the Philadelphia Phillies when we talk about postseason baseball. I wouldn't even bring him out of the bullpen probably. So we'll see if Miami can make that 2 in a row, Gabe. They've got an early lead here, 1-0 right now, up on the Philadelphia Phillies.
That was a rare blown lead for the Phillies last night in that spot as well. But baseball, you know, baseball will get you, right? No sport can humble a team as quick as baseball can. So the streak gets snapped. We're in a tricky time right now, right? I mean, it's a grind, 162 games. These teams sometimes will play out of character. I'm going to play the Cubs tonight, too. This game starts only in about 20 minutes or so, but it is one of the earlier baseball games. Cubs and Cardinals. You look at the pitching situation, and not to mention, too, with the Yankees. I'm not a big K guy, so you've got a massive pitching advantage here with the Yankees with Garrett Cole. But as far as the Cubs are concerned, they've been hitting the baseball, guys. Right, over the last 10 games, they're hitting like 286. And the St. Louis Cardinals, I think, kind of overachieved to start the year a little bit. They surprised people, Kevin, but they've been pretty flat over the last couple of weeks. And they're not hitting the baseball right now. And I don't really care about the home field all that much in a spot like this. I think the Cubs are the play tonight.
All right, I'm on the under in that game. We'll talk more about it. Get to the W after a quick break right here on SportsGrid. It's in-game live on SportsGrid. The WNBA is back tonight, 7:30, Mystic Sun. Then things will start to pick up a little bit. It's kind of interesting how they work this slate tonight. Game at 7:30, game at 8 o'clock. Then you go 9:30. Then you go double up at 10 p.m. I guess they're just kind of playing it, to the time zones. I do think the matchup with the Lynx and the Tempo is an interesting one. I have a couple picks in this game, but I did tweet out WNBA rumors anybody, because there was how they do this. The big reporters kind of list a couple of things that they're hearing. There's a number of Kelsey Plum's very interesting. I know Gabe, there's some Tempo rumors out there, but a name I didn't think we would still be kicking around due to the success of the Lynx was Napheesa Collier. And yet we still seem to be kicking around Napheesa Collier because she's a free agent. And if you're Minnesota and you're 21-6 without her, I don't want to lose her for nothing. And I could argue I don't need her to be a contender this year. It's not like the Lynx have never won championships. This is where Maya Moore paid. I don't want to, again, you don't want to be dismissive over being the favorites like they are. But before we break down tonight's game, I got to tell you, Gabe, this feels like there's something here, and it's not a guarantee that Collier is on this Lynx team post-WNBA trade deadline.
No, but they're in a weird spot because she is so good, she is so popular, and you can legitimately win the championship, right? Yep. The thing is, Miles has been so good, it changes the whole trajectory of their team as well. Mm-hmm. And Minnesota nearly pulled it off last year without her, right? I mean, Minnesota
and the year before that.
Yeah, they're just that good. I like Minnesota. Yeah. They're just, they've had a hard time finishing up, but they are just that good. Great coach, right? She's a great coach. I have a hard time believing she's really going to get dealt, but you raise a good point. I mean, can you lose her for nothing after the fact? I don't think it happens personally, but if it did, what team would be the most, who would be the most aggressive to get her? I mean, like really, she can reset your franchise kind of as well. She is that good. She is an automatic 25 points a night. Let's call it out for what it is. So, and in fact, I like her tonight. We'll get to that later. I don't really fully see it. I mean, although at the same point in time, I mean, if you're the WNBA, wouldn't it be a lot better, Kevin, if the LA Sparks were good? It really would be
opposed to it. You wouldn't be opposed.
And if you're her, it's like, if you're Napheesa, it's like, you know what? Nothing wrong with moving to LA and being the star of that team.
So to that point, Gabe, I am very curious as to what it is that
and we bring that up because Kelsey Plum wants out of LA, right? She signed a 1-year deal, and it's clear she's not going back. They're not any good. Yeah. To me, the Valkyries. You put Kelsey on the Valkyries, that's dangerous.
I do wonder, and listen, if you're the Sparks, is it worth... Gosh, I don't have a better comparison, but I'm not attempting to say that she is Shohei Ohtani. But the Angels justified not trading Ohtani because they were basically like, we have to try and keep him because maybe we can get him to re-sign. If you're the Sparks, is it worth this? If you trade her, she'll never play for the Sparks again. Is it worth that little sliver of hope that you can re-sign her in the offseason? If she's like, listen, I'm telling you right now, I am leaving, then yeah, you have to be willing to look around and see what that market is. But to go back to the Collier thing quickly, Gabe, what does she want? Because I'm not saying she doesn't care about winning, but her best chance to win is on Minnesota. It's not that she wants her own team. That's not a worry. She's the best. You know what I mean? It's not like there were questions about her leaving before we saw how good Olivia Miles, kind of was. Is she looking for a UConn connection? Does she want to go to Dallas and play with Paige and AZ Fudd? Is she runs unrivaled with Breanna Stewart. Would she like to get to New York somehow, some way? I don't know. Does she see value in being on the Indiana Fever alongside Caitlin Clark? Increase her marketability, her value? Maybe so. But that's what's so interesting about it, Gabe, is what is Collier? Why is she not sure about Minnesota long-term is a very interesting question.
It is amazing everything that she's accomplished in her career without that championship. Right? Yeah. 5-time All-Star, All-Star Game MVP, Rookie of the Year, Commissioner Cup champion, Commissioner Cup MVP, the 50-40-90 club. Like, we can go on, like MVP of Unrivaled, which is a really competitive league, guys, in the summertime. FIFA Europe Super Women's Champion, European League Champion, Turkish Super League Champion, NCAA Champion. So as you stated, she's kind of accomplished everything. Let's call it out for what it is. I think she wants to get paid, and I think she wants publicity. Personally, right? In a sense that, Minnesota's not that market, right? So if you're her, like New York, the Liberty in play would be a nice fit. Hell, if you really want to talk real, like, scary in basketball, drop her on the freaking Dallas Wings, bro. With her, Fudd, and Paige Beckers and company there, like, and Shepard and stuff, dear God, and Enrique, they'd be scary as hell.
Oh, yeah. I think that those are, again, if marketability, again, jumps out, the Fever are a part of that. The market doesn't matter. Caitlin Clark is the market. Let's call it out for what it is. And also, you want to kind of go galaxy brain with this. Caitlin Clark and Aja Wilson are the only two superstars in this league who don't play in Unrivaled. You know what might get Caitlin Clark to play for Unrivaled? Fee and her on the same team, build that friendship up. You know what, Fee? Let's go play. I'm coming.
One thing with Caitlin, she didn't need the money as much as the other ones, right? And Unrivaled pays like a lot. Like, we're talking like millions and stuff, right? So they're getting like real money. Mm-hmm. Caitlin's like, I already made $6 million from Nike last year, right? But all the other girls are like, yeah, well, good for you. I only made $300K or $800K last year. So, that's why Brittany Griner ended up in a Russian jail. She was getting paid so much to play there.
Yeah, a lot of that is then pulled back, which is a great thing to see. We'll put some picks on the board for the W.
Yeah, there's more Europeans women going to come now, too.
Back with you right here on SportsGrid, 7:30-ish tip between the Mystics and the Sun. I'm not involved with that game. I am involved with the Lynx and the tempo. Based on a couple of things Gabe said, I actually played 2 picks in this game. We might agree
let's
on
get
one,
into this game.
disagree on the other. I'll start with this. I did play the tempo plus 16.5. I think they added like 4 points to this number because Nafisa Collier's back. It's still only her second game. It just feels a little much. Kiki Rice back, it looks like, in the lineup tonight for the tempo. We know this team can surprise, and I don't think it's a bad thing that they're on the road. We've talked about it. The W schedule is weird. This is their first road game since June 22nd. Guys, it's July 28th. How's that even possible? How's it like? But it is. I think it'll be good for them to get back out on the road, maybe even sneak up on the Lynx here. So I'll start with the side, Gabe. I took the tempo plus the 16.5.
The Toronto tempo, they were getting drilled going into the All-Star break. But even with that being stated, they are 10-9 against the spread as underdogs, right? And they have been live getting these big numbers on the road as well. And, Kevin, we've also seen Minnesota not blow teams out, right? Minnesota win by, 11, 9, 8. Like, Minnesota don't cover the spread, but they win a lot, right? Yeah. I mean, they've often not. Like, I think they're, actually have their home margin of victory. I think it's 11 at home.
Yeah, it's been about a month, Gabe, since they've won by more than 10.
Yeah, which is pretty damn good, but they're not worried about the point spread. You know what I mean? They get up, they know they're up in the game, and they don't care. Oh, we're favored by 11.5. Good for you. Like, I don't think they're really worried about the betting market out there. It is a lot of points to lay. Now, as far as Nafisa is concerned, dude, it's 19.5 points. She dropped 24, Kevin, in 20 minutes the other day.
Yep.
In her first game. She only played 20 minutes. She scored 24 points. And now she's playing at home tonight. That was on the road. She's going to get shots. She's going to get minutes. And also, she wants to get into a little bit of a rhythm, too. So you can say, oh, well, they're favored by so much. Yeah, she's not going to play 32 minutes or anything like that. But I think she probably plays 24 minutes this time. 20, you know what I mean? 26 type thing. It's at home. She's going to want to get into a groove here. She's back, and she's going to want to reclaim her chair. Right? I mean, Olivia Miles has been going off. It's like she's going to remind everyone, yeah, I'm back now. The queen is back, as she's called. I don't see how I don't have the Raptors, I was going to call them. The tempo. I don't see how the tempo stopped them. I don't see how the tempo stop her.
So,
and what about the total? It was 184.5 or 185.5. And I was like, I don't want to bet the under. You're going to need a clean ride, though. Yeah. But we've seen, Kevin, this Toronto team does not stop anybody. They get murdered on the glass. And Toronto have shown an ability to score. They've shown an ability to score as well.
Live totals 200. We've seen it a few times. There's another game we'll talk about. But the Collier pick is where you and I are on the other side. And disastrously, I bet this earlier, got a bad number at 18.5. She better not score exactly 19 tonight, or this will be a disaster
you got a better
for the
number,
both of us. No. I got a worse number, Gabe, because I bet the under.
Oh, you bet the under. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I'm mad that I didn't get an 18.5.
Yeah.
And I know it was earlier in the morning. You got it early. Yeah. You got to get to the numbers quick.
It's so funny. I think her first game back, they were like, yep, Fee, you're back, whatever you want. You want to take 20 shots in 22 minutes? Go ahead. Now, I don't think that's what it looks like tonight. I think that's aggressive. There is still a flow that works within this basketball team. The Minnesota Lynx are not going to become the Minnesota Colliers. That's unnecessary. They're the best team in the league.
She doesn't need to take that many shots, though, with her. That's the thing.
Oh.
12 shots, 15 shots, she can get to 20.
But that's where, Gabe, where it is her second game still.
But she doesn't take a lot of threes either, right? She shots.
Took 6 in the first game back, which is outlier.
Yeah, that is an outlier. Yeah, that's a good point. I think that's almost a Seattle thing that we'll get to later with Seattle, Indiana. That game, points. But we'll get to that later.
We will get to that. I'm basically doing, you know what I tell you I want to do with every CFL game, but I don't. And again, it's a good idea. That's what I'm doing with the Storm Fever, Gabe. I know
Well,
every
they're
game
roping
has
me in,
600 points. I play the
I've
under
got
in the Storm Fever game. I have to.
I've got a 50% odds boost on a WNBA game parlay, but only on one game. So I got to pick the game, which one I want to do it with.
Yeah. Well, the tempo we're playing, if you don't pick that game, that's
come in a lot more better prepared to play than say we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're, much further down the list at only, 8% right now on Call Sheet. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Scoogle. And that's going to be something that, we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wembanyama goes to the park and plays chess against people. I saw him come in with a book today. Yeah. He walked in with a book, Kevin. He had a bunch of books in his hand. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, he's the only NBA player that actually walks in with a book that actually read it.
Yeah. It's a good take. Yeah.
Shot of LeBron.
Listen,
I couldn't help
I
it.
knew that I was trying to cut you off before you said the name.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet. If the point spread in your favor, you get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Back at the right here on SportsGrid. We've got Baseball Live. We've got WNBA coming up. There was a story, though, I did want to throw Gabe's way because yesterday he was not, we talked a little Notre Dame football, and totally fair. He's not super high relative to the market on Notre Dame, but Notre Dame today did something that every Michigan fan should absolutely appreciate, which was completely sun Ohio State. Ohio State got all excited to announce their landmark $17 million agreement to put the Chase logo on their jersey. And an hour later, Notre Dame said, sick, we got $18 million from SoFi. Just to let everybody know what it is. So as a Michigan fan, Gabe, you should absolutely love that from the Fighting Irish.
Well, we'll see what Michigan now step up with and who they end up siding with. Yeah, this is a dark day, dark times in college football. And just drop the whole college acronym of this. It's not college football. When players are getting paid millions of dollars, and in some cases more than NFL players are, when you have SoFi and other sponsorship deals on jerseys, it's not college athletics anymore. It's pro football. Pro football. It's a pro football league. Right? I mean, it's, and Newt Rockney's rolling in his grave, Kevin. I mean, you could be happy about the money or whatever, but whatever. Like, Notre Dame don't have enough money as it is, right? It's very FIFA-like. They want to sell everything for $20 billion. Yeah. Like people would literally sell their soul. Like, literally and figuratively. Look at the Pac. Look at what they did to the Pac-12. UCLA and USC left for, we're going to make an extra $10 million a year if we do this. right? Like, there's no thought ever. I'm just telling you, like, New Rockney's rolling in his grave right now. Like, thinking, like, the Notre Dame traditions, like SoFi. And I'm not calling Notre Dame out for it because every other school is going to do it. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, I'm not a fan of this. Like, hey, I don't want to see a damn sponsor on a Michigan Wolverine jersey. It's a beautiful uniform. My guess is it's going to be Kohler's grocery store. They seem to be a big, I don't know if they have the type of money, but they're one of their sponsors now. But I guarantee you, Michigan will want to come in and beat both of you now with this.
Yeah,
they're going to be like, oh, look.
Won't, but they're going to get a great number. They're going to get a great number. I don't think they'll beat it, but they're going to get a great number.
Oh, I guarantee you they'll beat it. I guarantee you they'll beat it.
Do you think that Michigan are the biggest program in college football?
They are. Yeah, they're one of the biggest brands. Yeah, like
no, but like
top.
Do you think they're a bigger brand than Ohio State?
Yes, they're more popular than Ohio State.
That's interesting. I don't think they are. I think they'll be around the Ohio State number. They
are more popular than Ohio State. Ohio State are good. I'm not saying it's not a debate about who's better on the field or whatnot, but Michigan have a lot more fans, Kevin, than Ohio State do. Like, just point blank. Like, if you look at, like, from sport to sport to sport, it's not close. Like, the Michigan brand is bigger than Ohio State's brand.
I'm simply talking college football. Ohio State college football moves the needle more than Michigan college football. Michigan athletics.
No, they win. No, but they win. Doesn't mean you win more. Michigan make more money than them, Kevin. You want to cut to the chase? We make more money than they do. We have more money than they do. They might win, but it's not close. Like, it's not even really like.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the recruiting, the attention, Ohio State right now. I mean, again, Texas, look, there's a stretch.
Texas are like Texas, one of the biggest brands, right? Yeah. Notre Dame, still, you know what I mean? Notre Dame lost its luster a bit, but gaining it again because they're good. I can't dispute it. Right. I mean, it did lose its luster for a while, but Notre Dame's a big brand. I mean, they just got the money from SoFi, but Notre Dame's not the brand that they used to be. Notre Dame used to be like a standout sort of.
They used to be like one or two, but but
there weren't as many powerhouses though, Kevin.
Yeah,
right.
But Notre Dame are one of the 10 biggest college football brands in the country.
Yes,
period.
I would say higher than top 10, even.
Yeah,
I would say higher than top
10. Roughly, how many teams in the Big Ten, Gabe, do you think are in the top 10? Michigan, Ohio State, like, things move quickly, right?
Penn State.
Or Oregon.
Penn State. Penn State, College State, the amount of money at Happy Valley and that stadium and the money that Penn State pay their hockey players $2 million. Like, they have a lot of money there, Kevin. Like, you can't confuse winning with making money and brand name power.
Sure, yeah. No, I listen, I understand that. That's why I said top 10. And I didn't sit here and say Penn State aren't huge, right? There's only 10 spots available, right? The SEC, I mean, listen, Bama is a part of that conversation. Texas, like you said, is a part of that conversation.
You know what, though? The numbers won't lie. And I'm going to get the revenues for football teams.
The one element I was just going to add,
number one, and I was right, Texas.
Yeah.
So Texas. Number 2, Notre Dame. But get this. So Notre Dame, $150 million. Their football revenue, Kevin. Michigan, $149 million. So you beat us by like $700,000.
Yeah, I mean,
my point is, Ohio State's not on this list so far. Number 1, Texas. This is football revenue. Texas, $200 million. Jeez. Notre Dame, $150 million, $214,000. Michigan, $149 million and $104,000. University of Tennessee, 143,000. Alabama, 138. Georgia, 133. University of Washington, 127. Nebraska, 126. Oklahoma, 124. See, like Ohio State's not even like.
I have a different list here, Gabe.
Here's Ohio State, 13th.
I have a different list that I was Ohio State second behind Texas. Now listen, these are semi on the fly sources.
Yeah.
Right.
But you see, it's basically all SEC and Big Ten teams.
It's Texas. Yes.
Like a good example is
right?
like Nebraska suck, but they're still a big brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
They still sell out their games. Fans still go on the road to watch them, even though they blow.
Would Nebraska get more money than, I don't know, who's a recently kind of good team but doesn't have the same history?
Indiana? It's a good example.
Perfect. Yeah.
I'd like to see what Indiana's little sponsorship will be worth. They won.
But I wanted to just make this point to you, Gabe, and I understand why a lot of people don't like all this stuff. For some reason, though, the millions of dollars that these teams are going to get from the patch feels a lot cleaner to me. Because everyone's going to get paid and get money, right? But this, to me, feels a lot cleaner than, like, Big Johnny Booster, if that makes sense. Like, a deal with a
Kevin, I'm digging in here too. Like you said, it's like different sites are gonna have different numbers and stuff. But one thing, Ohio State's numbers here are a little bit skewed because they won the freaking championship.
100%. Yes.
They ended up with $81 million. Like the extra
you get a big
blah, blah,
boost.
blah, 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 blah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
absolutely. Yeah. You get a big boost from that. But listen, by the way, you know what would be very funny? And again, you would love this to circle if Ohio State ends up going, oh no, we shouldn't have gone first. Everybody keeps topping us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm not even saying like, oh yeah, we're Michigan. We're going to get like, we're superior. They're going to go out of the way to make sure they got more now. They already saw what everyone else got. You know what I mean? It's going to be like Van Halen at the US Festival.
Come in a lot more better prepared to play than say we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're much further down the list at only 8% right now on Kalshi, but this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Scoogle, and that's going to be something that we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wembanyama goes to the park and plays chess against people. Like, I saw him come in with a book today. Yeah. He walked in with a book, Kevin. He had a bunch of books in his hand. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, he's the only NBA player that actually walks in with a book that actually read it.
Yeah. It's a good take. Yeah.
Shot of LeBron. Listen, I couldn't help it.
I knew that I was trying to cut you off before you said the name.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Back with you guys right here on SportsGrid. Really fun conversation, kind of just about, look, the state of college football. This stuff is ever changing. We know that. And I do think one of the interesting pieces of this is in terms of, visibility. That's where who wins does matter a lot, because now you call it Chase Bank, is in the semifinal of the college football playoff. Right. And that makes a big difference. And I do think what's going to be interesting, Gabe, and it can't be a coincidence. It can't be that Ohio State was working on this deal for months. Notre Dame saw it and in an hour beat it. Like, they must have also been working on it. So it does make you think that Michigan, Bama, Georgia, like, surely those schools are also, or are they playing catch up right now? Like, that would be like, that's where people are going to get in trouble, right? If they're like, you weren't doing this.
They have let the market been set, right? Yeah. I mean, what's LSU going to come in now with, or an Alabama? Alabama's going to say, we're worth $20 million.
That's the thing. Your floor is 15. Floor for a lot of these schools.
And there are enough companies. There won't be enough money to go around for everybody, right? I mean, like, Rutgers isn't getting $17 million from any company.
No.
Like, you might be in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I said 15 for the monster schools. I meant not for every school. Not for every school.
Yeah.
No.
I'm saying, if you're a Rutgers, you'll take the 6 if you can get it. You know what I mean? Or 4.
Yeah. But it's almost funny, Gabe. Like, does it all of a sudden? In terms of, I feel like we look at the money and then we put it back towards rosters. Does it just cancel everything out? Like, do kids just get paid more if now the schools are making this much more? Like, if Notre Dame now all of a sudden walk into $18 million, is there a part of CJ Carr's mind that goes, well?
Yeah, you're damn right. And also, I just brought it up. I just read here that Ohio State made $81 million by winning the championship last year. Where's that money come from? These companies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, television contracts, sponsorships,
no doubt.
Very similar to the World Cup, right? I mean, but the World Cup pay was a little bit skewed. It sounded impressive that, the winning team got $50 million. Yeah, but you guys made $12 billion.
Correct.
$12 billion, like $50 million out of the $12 billion. That's not like very much. You know what I mean? Like, we basically played for free in this. Like, Mbappe, and now we can talk about college. We'll get back to the picks, but, dude, like, if people thought that Infantino's little deal with Trump for the red card was bad, that was like a smokescreen diversion of selling a $20 billion piece of FIFA without telling anybody, and to the Kushners of all people, because, there's nothing inappropriate about that at all. And it's like, it's, just mind-numbing, right? Mind-blowing, but similar situation. A lot of people will complain about it and say, oh, my God, Infantino's a devil, and they're so greedy, and we're not going to stand for this, and secretly they're just going to shut up and accept their check after, right? I mean, that's, who says no to money? No one says no to money anymore. The problem is, like, the super rich don't say no anymore, right? Like, USC and UCLA were already super rich. Like, the endowments that they have and the money that the University of UCLA and USC have, guys, like, UCLA's in Brentwood, California. It's like some of the most, like, expensive, like, they are so filthy rich, but they're willing to leave the Pac-12 for a little bit more. And there's a saying in The Simpsons with Monty Burns. Once he stands up and he looks out the window and he waxes poetic and he goes, I have all the money in the world. And he goes, but I'd trade it all for a little more. And he started laughing after. And not like I trade it all for, like, if I was in love, or I trade it all, you know what I mean? Like, he goes, I trade it all for a little more. And he started chuckling evilly. And that's the world we're in right now. But, like, when does it end, Kevin? All right, like, you're a Notre Dame fan. Like, you should be, Notre Dame uniform used to be sacred. So where does it stop? You going to stick a SoFi sticker on the back of the helmet now, too, on the side of the helmet? Where's the, you just call it.
I know.
So,
I know.
Why not? SoFi's paying. I want to put a sticker on the back of the helmet now.
Yeah.
Where's it stop?
I think
I can just see it now. It's not going to stop. And in 10 years, we're going to watch a Tennessee-Florida game. It's going to be like NASCAR. It's going to be like Exxon, STP. It's going to be they're going to be deck the F out.
where it almost stops if we ever get there.
But sorry, Kevin. I'll end my rant. Sorry, Kevin. I'll end my rant. The CFL does this, okay? The CFL needs to do it, Kevin. The CFL sells 20,000 tickets a game. Their television, they need money. Every ticket they sell, every T-shirt they sell matters to them. What does it matter to Michigan, bro? Seriously, the Michigan have billions of dollars already. Yeah. Billions of dollars. Yet, you know what? We'll do it. We'll stick a bank sponsor on our jersey. Why not? We're getting another $20 million a year. Where does it end? And at some point, too, where does it end with the players, Kevin? I mean, players now, quarterbacks in college are making more than guys in the NFL are now. I mean, there's a kid that just signed here. There's a running back now. He's just got $2 million out of high school. He's from Montreal, actually. He's from Montreal. He's a French kid. But he's really, really good. He moved from Montreal to Tennessee. He played in prep school, high school, all-star league or whatever in Tennessee. He's going to the Vols. He's getting $2 million. That's more than NFL rookies get, Kevin. He's getting $2 million. He's never taken a snap in college football before, let alone pro football, and he's a millionaire. What are we doing? I was all for kids getting paid. Sure. But it's okay, guys, you want to set this, but the system will implode. You can't, it started Ohio State 2 years ago. Said, we need $20 million to field a good team. Word is this year Ohio State's up to $50 million. Where's it stop?
But I think, Gabe, why would it stop? Look how
That's
much
why
the
they
sport
need
is
more
worth.
of this, Kevin. They need to whore themselves out more all the time.
But also, let's be very clear. Look at how much it's all worth. Of course, the Texas quarterback is getting $10 million. Should. Let's call a spade a spade.
NFL players are stupid. Getting underpaid. That's the moral.
Come in a lot more better prepared to play than say we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're much further down the list at only 8% right now on call sheet. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Scoogle, and that's going to be something that we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wembanyama goes to the park and plays chess against people. I saw him come in with a book today. Yeah. He walked in with a book, Kevin. He had a bunch of books in his hand. I was thinking to myself, he's the only NBA player that actually walks in with a book that actually read it.
Yeah. It's a good take. Yeah.
Shot of LeBron.
Listen,
I couldn't help it.
I knew that I was trying to cut you off before you said the name.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
All right, guys, here with you on SportsGrid. The rain delay is finished up now. Washington and Toronto are getting underway. We'll see what that brings to the table here. We finished up part one of that doubleheader. Gabe and I were going to bet that Reds game yesterday, and the same pitchers threw in game one. It was actually a bizarre start to the game. I was like, should I bet the under? It's the same pitching matchup. I didn't. Basically, the bases were loaded with 2 outs. Kyle Manzardo's up. At first, they thought he struck out on a foul tip, caught strike. Then they actually said, no, hit by pitch, go to first. Cincinnati challenged it. They win the challenge. It's a 2-2 count. Next pitch, grand slam. It's like, what just happened? It was 4-0. And, listen, the game got competitive, of course. It ended up being actually a Cincinnati lead. It ended up being 6-5, whatever it may be. But I was involved in that game a little bit live. I will say, Gabe, we've been doing a lot more. But I feel like the live baseball, Gabe, as the more and more we bet the live baseball, it's been good. That live total yesterday, with the Phillies game obviously worked out here. So I'm hoping we can kind of pick a spot somewhere on this live board before we're out of here and make something work with this slate tonight.
Well, speaking of live, we're at the half right now of the TBT. Red Rose War Ready, who I bet on last night, and I took a couple of times. I've been riding them. I actually didn't like going against them, but I tried to get cute and went with what I thought with Davis Steele. Listen, it's 40-37 at the half, so we got a very competitive game. I want Davis Steele on the money line. It's -105, Davis Steele, -135, War Ready right now. Total 144.5. Little higher scoring, Kevin, than some of these alum games. And same thing, I've noticed the non-alum guys, they shoot more threes, and it's just sort of more flowing. The alumni just sort of beat the crap out of each other. We got a higher total later with the Mecca game, and I wouldn't want to be betting the under of it. They played earlier, and they got to 174. But I think it goes over to 144.5, guys, here at the half here, if you're just jumping in. Red Rose War Ready, Davis Steele over 144 at the half, and I still think Davis Steele pulls it out. You can get him at +1.5, and we've got that tempo game coming up, and this is one of these games where I started off just with the player prop over 19.5. And then I was like, well, Toronto don't stop anybody. So this game's going to go over. So then I got a piece of the over. And what was 14.5 is now 16.5. And we did talk about it, Kevin. Minnesota don't win by this margin. They win all the time, but they don't win by this type of margin all the time. It is a lot of points to be given to the tempo. And one thing with the tempo, guys, they don't quit in games. They'll just keep chucking and shooting, even if they're down. They're an expansion team. They've been used to being down. And, they were good to start the year, Toronto. They just got injured. They lost Kiki Rice. They lost Brittany Sykes, and it was too much to overcome. I mean, they literally lost 35 points a game to their roster. And you're an expansion team.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see who led the All-Star game in field goal attempts?
Yeah, of course she did. And, of course, she burnt me in the 3-point contest. She had 18 points.
Red hot. To be fair, Mabry did come out red hot in the first quarter. So
she scored 23 points in the first half.
Yeah, she finished with 23 points. So obviously she cooled off a little bit there. So I'm with you. I'm on Toronto. We disagree on the Collier prop. And I'll just say this now. I've done this occasionally. It's a success. Sometimes you look really foolish. Every Indiana Fever game is right now being played like an NBA total. Last 3 games, 110, 107, 108, 88, 123, 88. However, when they played Seattle a week or so ago, the total is 177.5. They are adding almost 10 points to this number. I have to play the under. I played it at 185.5. It's up to 186.5. I'm pretty sure it opened at 180.5. So we've made this point before, Gabe. Sometimes you're like, well, were the books that wrong with the number they set? Maybe. I'm going to find out.
What's interesting, and I don't know, we're coming out of the All-Star break right now. There's going to be a little bit of a flow to it. And we see this with the NBA as well. The NBA, there's always a flurry of overs right before All-Star voting closes. Mm-hmm. And everybody's trying to make the All-Star game. Everyone's trying to put up big numbers, and everyone sort of has a wink, I won't stop you, just don't stop me. And then there's sort of that all-star break week, and no one's really going to play defense. WNBA was like that, Kevin, if you recall, going into the all-star game. Like, we were routinely getting into the 200s, right? We're routinely getting into the 200s. We'll see if we can get that rhythm and pace back. I think we can. I think we can.
Time will tell. We'll update the live baseball board after a quick break on SportsGrid.
Come in a lot more better prepared to play than say we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're, much further down the list at only, 8% right now on Call Sheet. But this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Scoogle. And that's going to be something that, we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wembanyama goes to the park and plays chess against people. I saw him come in with a book today. Yeah. He walked in with a book, Kevin. He had a bunch of books in his hand. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, he's the only NBA player that actually walks in with a book that actually read it.
Yeah. It's a good take. It's a good take. Yeah.
Shot of LeBron.
Listen,
I couldn't help
it. I knew that I was trying to cut you off before you said the name.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
SportsGrid, it's in-game live with you on a Tuesday night. Kevin Walsh, Gabriel Morency. What do we got?
Little rally, got something going on here. They got runners on first and second with nobody out. Top of the second.
All right, I don't mind that. Here's what I don't mind, Gabe. 1-0 right now in this Marlins-Phillies game, and we're heading to the top of the sixth. I'm going to jump in on an in-game over. Aaron Nola very well could get sent back out for the next inning. That might be a mistake. I've seen Sandy Alcantara pitch gems, and they go to waste. Top of the order coming up for the Phillies. It'll be the 2-hitter for the Marlins in their half of the inning here. I'm going to play that 4.5, just like you called it, in-game over here in Miami and Philadelphia. So let's see if we can make something happen.
And listen, last night the Chicago White Sox were off to a 3-0 start, and I lost the bet. So I don't want to pull a Barry Horowitz here and pat myself on the back too much. But the Chicago Cubs have a 2-0 lead in the first inning and are still batting with a runner on second base right now. And we're on the Cubs tonight. We gave the Cubs off the top of the show here. Let's see if the Cubs on. There's a strikeout. And there's the end of the inning. But Cubs put a 2-spot up in the first.
They did have the 2 runs. No.
They do have the 2 runs. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2-0. Cubs now minus 210. Cardinals updated price plus 160. Updated total 10.5.
All right. There you go. Yeah, my 2 unders right now.
Oh, and the Yankees are on the board. Yankees on the board. And, oh, look at this. Oh, so close to a home run. And so close to a catch. Buddy robbed the home run, but he dropped the ball.
We like that.
Yeah, like
that.
it
Opens
was
things up
like
here a
over the
little bit.
wall. He jumped up over the wall type thing, but he dropped it.
Okay. All right.
And that's why
So
you got second and
1-0
third here.
Yankees.
Probably didn't get a good jump, right?
Yeah.
If you're like Trent Grisham kind of thing. All right, so the Yanks jump up.
Even the
second
up
and
and
third,
Grisham
nobody
are
out.
laughing it up here right now about it. Yeah, they're all laughing. I have a big laugh.
Let's see what that in-game total is.
So one thing I do
wonder
like
what
about
they-
baseball, like guys will laugh. It's such a long season and stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you know, like I would have taken off earlier, but you know what I mean? Like they were all sort of laughing. What are you gonna do? Like the ump came over and sort of did like I saw it. You know, what are you gonna do?
Are you getting the tempo game tonight? Like since you're local, I don't know if I'm getting this one.
I get every tempo game.
There you go.
I was gonna switch
That's
over to it.
good.
You want hardcore soccer, Kevin? Here's the Northern Super League women.
Ooh,
Calgary Wild
missed
against
out.
the AFC Toronto, some women's soccer.
You want to know? You want to know how the vibes, Gabe, are still there? I went to look at the club friendlies and got really angry because I forgot Real Madrid were playing today. They won 4-1 in their friendly. I was so angry.
Oh yeah.
oh.
You know what?
Oh,
Yeah, I got upset about that too. I tape the MMA show we do on Tuesdays, and every Tuesday I get mad and thrown off during the day because I sit here and I'm doing like MMA interviews, and I look up and I'm like, oh my god, we're 56 minutes into this soccer. I'm like, I didn't get it in, and I'm like so mad. I'm doing the MMA show, and I'm like just so like talking MMA. I'm like staring at my computer, thinking, son of a bitch, I didn't get it in on the soccer, like because of this show distracted me. It's going to happen. Speaking of which, I'm glad you brought it up. Tomorrow we have the MLS All-Star game. Just for the record. So tomorrow night we have the MLS All-Star game.
Oh,
It's in Charlotte.
that total? What does that usually look like? Like, is it fun or is it like?
Well, this
Fun's
isn't
not
even
the
funny.
right
It's
word.
funny you just said this because you mentioned the total. Why do they even do this? Just make it 4.5. Like over under 2.5 minus 800.
Well, that's not it. Yeah, that's not a real total.
No.
That's not a
So
real
like, but they
total.
have the alt totals and whatever. So the real total is 4.5. Minus 138 to the over, 4.5, plus 100 to the under.
But is that?
And for the record, just everybody, the format's in Charlotte. The format MLS All-Stars versus the Liga MX All-Stars, the Mexican League All-Stars. Draw plus 290, MLS All-Stars plus 120, Liga MX plus 162. So MLS are favorites.
But what's the deal, Gabe? Is the total 4.5 because, like, you hear All-Star game, right? Doesn't your mind go to, oh well, this will be fun?
They're not that good.
Is that like
They
I
don't go
understand
over.
how it works. Yeah,
They don't automatically go
seeing-
over like you think. The players never play together. They practice once today. They literally have one practice together.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not like it's life or death. I'll put it this way. The Mexican team gets up for it more. They don't want to lose to MLS, right? They look down to MLS. Like they think it's
They've
inferior.
lost 3 of the last 4. Interesting.
Right? Yeah. So and it was 3-1, 4-1. MLS lost 5-0 to Arsenal. You know what I mean? You had this run there where it's like MLS 2-1, MLS and League MX 1-1. And MLS used to really get up when they played against, like, I kind of miss this, Kevin. I prefer this than the format that we have. Like, we already have this stupid MLS versus League MX tournament that we're killing all the momentum of the MLS season for starting next week. I'm going to see Vancouver versus LAFC on Saturday. Whatever, dude. It's their last MLS game for like a month. Now we play whatever, dude. Cruz Azul and Pumas.
So
and
when
all
is
these
the
teams.
next
Like,
time Messi's going to play in an MLS game? Like, I don't. And by the
been
way,
quite
he
the
deserves.
rest so far.
But he deserves the time.
They're
off.
saving him for the playoffs. I mean, let's call it over for this. Like they're not. I think he's going to play before the playoffs, but it's such a long haul. He won't play in a lot of those games versus the Mexican teams.
I think he plays
Like-
in none of them almost, Gabe.
Like if they need the aggregate, he will type thing. Like it'll be as they go. You know,
Yeah.
as they go.
Because to your point
But you
about
are
how
right,
the
Kevin.
MLS,
But you
He
are
might
right.
not
The
play
last
till
2
mid-August.
years. Look, the last 2 years we had goals. MLS won 3-1 last year against League MX, and the year before League MX won 4-1. So hence the total 4.5.
what's both teams to score? -500?
Dear God. Let's see. Minus 600.
No, I wasn't. Listen, not too bad.
Let's play correct score here. Let's just kick around some correct scores.
What do you want to do? 2-2?
I was going to say 3-2. 3-2 MLS.
Okay.
16 to oh no, that's 3-1. 14-1 is 3-2.
5 goals.
Not bad. I know, but I would rather take a few shots with these, Kevin. 3-2s, 3-1s. 4-2 is 20-1. That's too ambitious. 2-2 is too light. I mean, it's going to be 2-2. I think somebody's going to win. 2-2 is plus 850. But I'm saying, like, all these scores, you're getting pretty nice odds because it's a lot of goals.
I wonder, you know what? That's interesting, Gabe. Can you put together both teams to score no draw, basically? Like, I wonder if they give you a price for, like, you know what I mean? Because when you bet both teams to score, like, both you're guaranteeing score, 3 goals. Yes.
Score team specials, winning margin, total goals, double chance.
Yeah, go to double chance, right? Yeah, and take the whatever, so the 2 sides. What do they give you for that?
Oh yeah, double chance. Yeah, it's minus 200. So both teams to score and MLS All Stars or League MX All Stars minus 200. It's not crazy. You're right. It's not, like for an investment, you're getting, you know what I mean? You're getting both teams. Exactly. It's a good way around. You know,
like history says that wins, right? Like history says you end up collecting on that ticket.
They got goal scorer props up too.
Yeah. That's an interesting one, man.
Armando
that's a really
Gonzalez minus 110, Sam Surge minus 125. Yeah, this would be a fun handicap though, Kevin. This one.
What's the 4.5 to the under before we hit this break?
Plus 100.
That's tempting though, Gabe. 5 goals, like you're in it the whole way. We'll talk more about tomorrow after a quick break.
Yeah, we got more tomorrow too.
We've seen this before.
Little
Hot
Davis
start
Steele.
from the tempo.
Oh, you in this TBT. Come on.
57-49, Davis Steele.
Oh, who is Davis Steele? You're starting to lose me a little bit. You're
Davis
starting to lose
Steele.
me here.
Davis Steele used to be Eberline Drive. Eberline Drive for a long time
Who is
TBT.
Davis Steele? Do they have an about? Let me look up. Maybe they can
Davis
explain their
Steele,
team name.
they're a steel company. They're like a hardware. I think they sell
so it's
chainsaws
just
and
like
stuff.
a sponsorship.
Yes, sir. It's a name of a company, Davis Steele.
All right.
They make chainsaws and like stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's
Gabe
a
York.
weird tournament, man. Everyone's got weird names and different. You know what I mean? Like people put money up. Like I was wondering about Michigan. I was like, how come Michigan doesn't have a team? And I remember years ago, Michigan said no because Michigan are stuck up. So Michigan like told them, no, you can't like use our name or like don't even think about like wearing our jersey type thing. Like no, because the whole thing and the name was perfect, Maize and Blue, right? It was like Team Maize and Blue. So it's like in Michigan, we're like, no, we don't give you permission to do this. Supposedly, they dropped that. There used to be another dean. It was a woman. She's gone, whatever. They're a little looser now. So I was reading about like a Michigan team, and they nearly did, but they didn't want to put the money up or whatever. Like, you got to put money up to get into this thing. It's like $100K or $200K type. It's like real money, too. Like the $2 million, the teams are the ones that put the money up, right? A bit of the sponsors, but I think it might be 50 or 75K to enter, whatever it is. But anyways, like Ohio State used to have a team. Aaron Kraft, remember Aaron Kraft? He was like
Carmen's
the leader.
crew.
Yeah,
they were
Carmen's
one of the first
crew.
winners.
Once
That
they got
I
older,
actually do
though,
remember.
Jared Sullinger was on the team. Like, even the bus dude played like on the team. What was his name? They owed him. Like, they did a good job of getting their alum. But the thing is, Ohio State never really have good NBA players, so they were actually good. Like, a lot of the Michigan guys were rich. Like, it's like, well, who are you going to get? Like, Juwan Howard? You know what I mean? Chris Webber? Jamal Crawford?
Point, right?
Jamal Crawford was the one that wanted to do it because, Crawford likes the ball, right? He likes to have fun.
Yeah, he still
But
plays.
Crawford basically said a lot of the Michigan guys have money, and they didn't want to do it. Like, they didn't need to do it.
Again, like Nick Stauskas comes to mind, right? Like,
Yeah. But even Nick played a lot in Europe and made money and stuff. Like,
yeah, you kind of need, so like Gabe, like Kansas's leading scorer is Zeke Mayo. He was on Kansas this past season, right? Didn't get drafted. He'll pop overseas. Like, you need.
Yeah. He's trying to make this
players within the
$200K.
last,
He wants the money.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. You need
Frank
recent
Mason's balling, though, and he's just same thing, right? He's doing it for the fun. The money's not bad, too. But like I said, but Kevin, a good example is like, we're not going to see, like, we're the Duke alum.
Exactly.
The Duke alum are like, dude, I work on Wall Street. I'm rich. I'm a millionaire. I'm not coming to play basketball and leaving my job for a month to try to win $2 million.
The reason Kentucky can field a team is basically
they have so many guys.
You have so many guys. Exactly. And a lot of guys that leave so young that.
And they had a lot of failures that didn't make the NBA,
left.
right? That they were, they didn't.
Yes.
They were great college recruits, but they didn't pan out in the NBA. They didn't make
Archie
it.
Goodwin is the main one. He's leading TBT in scoring. Like you can see it's a big. But this is the funny thing with this league.
It's funny as we don't see what Team Stanford.
No. But Gabe you really do. If Kentucky did not have Archie Goodwin, they would have got 2-0'd by Louisville and it would have been over. They wouldn't have beat, like, you just need one guy to make a big difference. Like, who's not too far removed type of thing.
Yeah, one guy that can give you 20, 25. Yeah. That's why, though, I like this coming up later. I like the Heartfelt Fire. I don't like picking on the Mecca. But Heartfelt Fire have like 4 or 5 guys, bro. Like 20, 15, 17, 18 a game. Like, and Heartfelt Fire have played together for years. Like, they're the same dudes. They've been gunning for this $2 million for years.
You know who should have a team, Gabe? But they're probably still holding out hope? The Ball family. Like, honestly. Alonzo and Jello.
It
would be fun. And people would watch.
And Lonzo would be fantastic because he's still an NBA player. Like Lonzo would be, but that's why he's not going to do it. LeVar's still trying to get NBA teams to sign LiAngelo. Much
well, what about how about your guy? How about Team Braun?
I mean, it could be all his friends. I don't know. I don't know if Mav Carter wants to play.
Some of his, yeah, exactly. Like some, you get Bronny and, but we don't, like we said, we've seen, there's a lot of there's quite a few actually current former NBA players in this tournament this year. You got the former NFL guy, Dominic and Rogers Cromartie. He's been playing. But like I said, it's such a fun tournament. And for the record, we're going to the fourth quarter right now. So Davis Steel were down 40-37 at the half. They had a good quarter. They're up 61-52 now. 61-52. We told you we like that over 144 at the half. And the current number right now is 146.5. They outscored them 24-12 in the third quarter of play. As far as the tempo is concerned, Kevin, well, good thing we bet the over, brother. In-game total, 198.5 right now.
Gabe, I swear, notice
like
how...
It's insane. It's insane.
I cannot tell you why, because the fever games are all higher. I was willing to bet a fever game under on a maybe they moved it too far. I was not with the tempo. I was not even a little bit.
And this all started like 2-3 weeks ago once when Kevin bet an under in a tempo game and watched
I took it against the Aces in game. And I was like, this is a disaster.
It was like an all-star game, back and forth. They just cracked the 200 mark here with the total. 199.5 now. It's sort of bouncing around, but it just did hit 200.5 a second ago in the tempo and links. 24-23 tempo, too. They're balling early.
Yeah, but look, it's a good thing we're getting 16.5. Like,
well, we've seen this a lot, dude.
30
we've seen
in the
them
first
down
quarter,
2 at the half
leading.
and lose by 18.
Exactly. You got to be up by more.
All right, guys, live right here on SportsGrid. And the Nationals have batted around to start this game 4-0.
4-0, bottom of the first.
Now ask me how many hits they have in the opening inning here. 4 runs, batted around.
Wow.
One hit.
What happened?
Maybe. I mean, Shane Bieber didn't get out of the first.
Wow.
I mean, at that point, let him groove one to James Wood for my fantasy team. I mean, honestly, cut the nonsense here, Gabe.
You know what's crazy?
Really, this guy can't be serious.
I know it's crazy too. Bieber's last start was good, Kevin. And I don't watch like many just by chance though. I happened to see the post game show the day he was good.
This is going to be interesting. Yeah.
And who's it? Madison Stonehill, I think her name is. I don't know. The Blue Jays like have a million analysts, but they've got a girl. She thinks she played for Tennessee or Vanderbilt or something. Like she's actually good on TV. She's really good. But they were talking about Bieber, and she said, "You know what? No, you know what? It was the former Met. Anyways, it was a girl that used to be a former Met executive, whatever, on TV, and I saw the interview about the Jays, and she said, "Yeah, you know what? I would shut Bieber down. I would trade him now before his next start." And she goes, if he gets blown up in his next start, you're going to lose value. And Buddy said, he goes, really? It's that shallow, like even at the pro level? She goes, you're damn right it is. She goes, a couple of good starts like before the trade deadline and the stock goes way up. She goes, a couple of bad starts and people don't want to take the call. And not good if like for Bieber. Like his value just went down. It's got like, you know what I mean? If you're a team and the Jays are like, yeah, listen, we're shopping Shane. You're going to say, I just saw him give up 4 runs, didn't get up first inning. I'm not giving you this. Like, it's a cold world, Kevin. You know what I mean? That didn't help him tonight.
I mean, Gabe, to your point, his ERA coming into this game was a 4.70. And he's not pitched a ton of innings. So with a good start, he gets that under a 4. He leaves tonight with a 5.74 ERA. If you're a contending team, you can't tell your fans you just made a winning move.
And you want to, Kevin, the guy that you acquired to be coming off some good starts. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to tell your fan base and or your owner and your executives in the room, we traded this and we're paying him this. And, he's been bad his last 3 of his last 5 starts. But we think, you know what I mean? Like, it's a harder sell. It's a harder sell. You want to tell you, look, man, guy's red hot right now. Right? And it almost leads me into tonight, a little bit later on, Kevin, as long as we're on the topic, because it's Eric Lauer Day today for the Dodgers. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Is it?
Yeah, it was, and it got switched to Robleski.
You know what's crazy, Gabe? I don't know how this happened.
The number went from 180, Kevin, to 245. Well, that's 65-cent difference with the pitchers.
That's a win for one of your staple Dodger opinions. Not only that Eric Lauer
my boy Robleski,
but that Robleski is fantastic.
That the number went from 183 to 245.
I got to tell you guys, and listen, this will happen very rarely. I didn't see this game. I had no idea the Dodgers were playing tonight. Now, why wouldn't they be? They didn't play Monday.
Yeah, because they didn't play last night. You got to scroll at the bottom. They're buried at the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't scroll. I didn't go one click further. What's this total? 9.5. Why is this not an under?
Against the Mariners, Castillo, too.
This looks way high. But I've been, all right.
Robleski doesn't get respect from the market from as far as, well, it's the Dodgers. And look, the Dodgers were minus 180 when it was TBD. Like, that's how crazy it is, Kevin. Like, it was like they didn't have a pitcher. Like, it wasn't sure. So it was literally TBD pitcher, minus 180. Eric Lauer was listed this morning, minus 183. So Lauer was worth 3 cents more than a no-name, than any. So you're worth 3 cents to we had 3 to a no-name to nothing. And Robleski comes in and, what is it, 245? I think there's even higher at some spots right now. It is the Seattle Mariners they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I know Louis Castillo's not had.
No, that's the thing.
By the way, the Seattle Mariners
are like the second team in the American League when you look at World Series odds to show up, and might be sellers at the deadline. If anybody wants to know the state of the American League.
The league
Just
sucks.
if anybody was wondering what was going on, they might sell, and they're also maybe going to win the American League. Marlins Philly starting to bother me. I don't mind losing a bet. I don't appreciate every half inning we get multiple big hits with 2 outs, nobody on. I don't appreciate that at all. That's a very frustrating tease that I'm
you bet the over 4.5. Yeah. Down to 2.5 right now. Yeah.
Yes.
I see this now. You're right. I'm seeing this now. Dude, yeah, they had runners on second and third.
Nonstop. It's every half inning. So that's been a little frustrating. By the way,
Yankees up 3-0.
Might be
and the Cubs up 7-0.
You see the Sun Mystics?
Hey, how about that? 7-0 Cubs. 7-0 Cubs. We're on the Cubs. And you know what? I can't mush this. I bet it at a book that I get paid if the team is up by 5. I won.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to kill it for anyone else, but Bronx Bombers have taken a 3-0 lead on the White Sox right now as well.
Wow. Yanks.
Tigers up 10-0 on the Birds. 10-0 on Baltimore.
I had under 9.5. I don't know how to feel about that bet. Is it a
You're
terrible
not
bet?
happy.
It's a losing bet. I mean, it's a losing bet. I don't know if it's a terrible bet.
Well, it's top of the 7th, so yeah, it's a bad bet. It's top of the 7th. You've already lost.
Yeah, but one team didn't score. It's like, it's like, wow, pretty sharp on that one
the bet
side
lost in the 6th inning. The Judge Morency says bad bet.
All right, fair enough.
The bet lost in the 6th inning. It wasn't like, it was a bad beat.
Yeah.
No, you lost you lost in the 6th inning.
That's fair. I have no.
Did one team score? Yeah. Okay. Here, I mean, I don't dispute that. 54-54 Connecticut.
Yeah,
and the
what's
Mystics.
going on with this? Look at this. This total's about
I stayed away from
25
that
higher
game.
than
I didn't know
was.
what to do with that game. Yeah.
We should have just bet it over, Gabe. Is this just going to be every WNBA game?
Yeah.
Over.
I already liked it. I was already on the over tonight. I know you want to be contrarian with the under. I don't know if you're getting scared now. The Fever and the Storm are coming up in an hour, 9:30 Eastern. Caitlin Clark and company and the Fever have been playing better going into the break. She's had a chip on her shoulder. She's trying to get along with people, and they seem to be in a little bit of a groove right now, at least in a happy little moment here. And one thing with the Storm we've seen, they score. They got a bunch of young players. They don't play defense, but they score. I got to go back to my girl
tonight.
Yeah, I got to go back to Flo J. What's Flo J's numbers?
Probably going to be pretty high.
They were 12.5 before.
In this environment?
14.5 tonight. We got a total of 186.5. She can get 15 or more. And, everyone talks about Caitlin Clark. Flo J. Johnson was a star in college, too. Right? Like, everybody wants a piece of fame here, right? So, Flo J's been coming on, guys, if you look at her numbers here. 25-16, 26-16. I mean, 16 seems to be your new thing, Kevin. That seems to be the new floor over the last, couple of weeks going into the break. I'm going over 14.5 for Flo J. I'm going over in the game. And, God, I'm tempted to take Seattle plus the points, but...
But here's my question, Gabe. If Malonga doesn't play, what does that do to the... Like, your Flo J bet looks better, right?
Yeah.
That'll move. It's
There'll be
crazy.
More threes, I would imagine.
No, it might be better for the total. It really might be better for the total.
Like a quicker tempo, right? You know what I mean?
She's right now a more consistent defensive presence than offensive. She has great offensive games.
She's a pain in the ass. She's big in the paint. You're right. Like, that's an obstacle that will not be there right now for the Fever all night long.
And Caitlin's
great at that pick and roll stuff.
Fam.
I like Caitlin's assist over 8.5. For the record, too, and I saw that she played Seattle twice, and she had 10 or more assists than both, Kevin. It's plus money, too. Caitlin, dude, you see it. Caitlin dishes the ball a lot. She does.
Sure. Yeah, she's going to almost, I don't know, she's like 2 years away from being the unquestioned best passer in the history of the league.
Like, if you look at her assists, 11, 7, and 10 in the last three, but it was a little deceptive. She was hurt and wasn't playing full minutes and stuff.
Yeah, they're
She's
also blowing
now.
Teams out, Gabe. Like, recently. Like, there's these blowouts in there. She's only playing 24 minutes or so, 25 minutes, which is kind of factoring in here a little bit as well.
I'm still doing
it. I don't mind the Clark looks.
I'm going with the over, and I'm going with Clark over assists, and I'm going with Flo J. Johnson over to 14.5 points. 3 plays in that game.
Yeah. You've got me. We've talked about this, right? Where I wonder if
Kevin, I was going to say tempo in trouble, down by 5, and suddenly it's minus 17.5. See, the books know.
Incredible, man.
They're down by 5 only, and there's going to be people, oh my God, I'm getting 17.5. Don't do it, everyone. We've done it before. We're already in on them. We got to just hope for the best.
Quarter, and I didn't feel good. They were up 3 at the end of the first quarter, and I didn't feel good. You can't score 28 and be only up 3.
It's Marina Mabry. She gets hot and cold. And the tempo is a
track meets, but these other teams can keep scoring, and they can't.
No, exactly. The tempo shots don't always fall. They take them, and the other teams lay it up a lot on the tempo. Right? The tempo aren't a good defensive team. They don't have any interior presence. You'll notice teams when they play the tempo, there's a million layups and putbacks and stuff. They don't really have to bomb threes. Right? They let Toronto bomb the 3, get them in transition, get a 2-and-1, lay it up. Vegas was just over and over. Asia Wilson had 12 layup baskets, Kevin. It was like ding, 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 ding. It was over and over. They just pass it to her and she just tap it in off the board. And here's Olivia Miles, just like that. We're down 8, 41-33. Wheels are falling off.
No, it's remarkable. I'll tell you, I won't be chased.
And they turn the ball over. See, they just fall apart, man. They just fall apart. They allow these runs where they get outscored 20-2 and stuff.
They are not a team, to Gabe's point, you chase in game. You're not oh, here they come.
No, chase the total instead. You can bet the over because they won't stop trying to score, but yeah, when things get away from them, so
I'm
Just for the
almost going to
record.
start rooting Gabe for the blowout, kick the 16.5 to the side, and steal the Collier under.
Yeah, she's at 6 on 10 minutes right now. 6 and 10
2
minutes.
for 7. Like, you can tell, Gabe, she's not in a rhythm yet, right? She's
Olivia
just not.
Miles has 10.
God, this is things up to no.
Mabry's got 7. Julie Allemon, who's super, also very tempo-like. One night she'll have 19, and next night she'll have 2. Like, she's really all over the place, Julie Allemon.
I need
Tonight
to look
she's got
away
10.
from the live. I need to look. I just saw 20.5. I need to look away because that's crazy.
I'm blaming
20.5.
Because I wasn't going to take the tempo until I spoke to you. I was just going to bet the over and call your over, but let's see what happens here. Yeah, we're down by 10 now, Kevin. Like, it's really falling apart.
That's fun. I never get credit when I remind you of Dodger games on, and they win by 100 runs. It's interesting how that works, you know?
There's Money Mabry. She just got a bucket. All right, we're cut a tape. Let's go. Maybe they go a little run here, but for the end of the half. Still 5 minutes left. What's the in-game total? Because we're moving in on 90 points right now, 80 points in this game. There's another bucket layup for Minnesota.
I got to tell you, this 20.5 is crazy, though. Gabe, 20.5 is a little nuts.
The total's 200.5. 200.5. That might be the advantage.
How many points do they have Minnesota scoring? 110?
Dude, they're already at 45, and there's still 4.5 left. They're going to drop 60 in the first.
109.5 is the in-game number on Minnesota.
Wow.
Goodness me. Gabe, do we have a Tempo Fever game coming up anytime soon? What's that total? 190?
It's too bad. I'm going to miss the tempo.
18th.
They're playing in Vancouver against the Aces and Portland. I'm going to be in Montreal and Toronto by chance.
Oh,
but on the plus side, I'm going to see a couple of CFL games.
There you go.
You remember Caden Salter, Kevin?
Yeah,
Caden Salter, Liberty. Yeah, he was good at Liberty, and he wasn't very good at Colorado. But he's getting a start for the BC Lions on Thursday. Take the Bombers.
I like that. That's exciting.
Back with the guys right here on a Tuesday night. You know, I got a little flack today, Gabe, from some Eagle fans who said I don't know what I'm talking about because I was not over the moon about the Jalen Carter contract that they gave out. Now, we all know Howard Roseman is very good, and I'm sure he'll structure it in a way that'll work nicely, but Jalen Carter was not good last season. I understand he was injured. I understand Jalen Carter has a ton of potential here, but man, Philadelphia have paid a lot of guys and have a lot of guys to pay, and that can lead to tough decisions. We'll see how it works out.
$106 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
$152 million, 4-year deal. Wow. It's a lot of money.
It's real deal money. And when they paid Jordan Davis, some people, myself included, wondered, hey, are we going to, are they going to pay Jalen Carter or could they trade him? And I thought Philly, I'm sure they canvassed the market. And maybe the return wasn't there. I really thought, Gabe, maybe you'll think this is crazy. I thought Jalen Carter could have ended up involved in a Raiders deal, sending Max Crosby back to Philadelphia. But obviously that's not how things went.
As you stated, they've done a great job over the years, so they deserve the benefit of the doubt. But what surprises me, and I see that, so he's the highest paid defensive tackle in the league now. $38 million a year on average now. $106 million guaranteed. Chris Jones, $31 million. All right. Simon's $35. Did you really need to pay him that much? You could have just given him. Like, would he have really said no, Kevin? Like, if he would have said, yeah, 4 years, $132 million, you know what I mean? It just seems extremely excessive with the 152. But be careful. You might not be deemed a real fan, as I see there's Philadelphia media controversy. If you're not happy enough about LeBron James. And what happened with Vrabel and A.J. Brown? I saw Vrabel rip A.J. Brown already.
I saw A.J. Brown made a joke about Drake May not throwing it enough, and a lot of Eagle fans said it always starts out as a joke.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Patriot beat reporters were like, yeah, Drake's looked good today other than when he's targeting A.J. Brown. 1 for 7 with an interception. Maybe nothing, maybe something. And it's like, I don't know. Doesn't sound ideal, guys. Listen, I'll be honest. Eagle fans, Gabe, are circling that like sharks in the water, man. Like, I'm just being very honest. Like, that is what every Eagle fan is. Eagle fans are rooting for an A.J. Brown struggle.
Are the Eagles going to bounce back this year?
Super Bowl every other year, but that just doesn't seem feasible. I think they'll be good, but I want to be very clear. There's a world it implodes because the head coach and the quarterback may not have a great relationship. And
yeah, they're not on the same page.
I can't get a read sometimes, Gabe, on Sirianni and Hurts. I know Hurts had a bad relationship with Patullo. Sirianni is so unique. I do think him and Jalen, look, they've had a lot of success together, Gabe. Like, you can't discount that. But there's a lot of pressure in Philadelphia. We know that as well.
But what about the play calling has been strange as well, right? Or inconsistent. What's the identity? Like, what's to me, look, the identity of the Philadelphia Eagles when they're at their best, bro, was Saquon Barkley is the best running back. And you run some play action, you go deep, and they sort of had a thing of perfection. They threw way too much last year, Kevin. And it wasn't pretty. Let's just call it off what it is. And I'm not saying Jalen Hurts can't throw, because I like Jalen Hurts. And I think he can make certain throws. But I think defense has figured out a way to put the Eagles in spots where they weren't worried about it. Right? I mean, that offense wasn't scaring anybody last year. Like, will it have a new spark this year? And remember last year, it was that, don't worry, they're saving Barkley for later. Saving Barkley. They never really weren't saving him. He never really got the ball. Right? Like there was never a rhythm with Saquon last year. You guys going to go back to running the ball with Saquon this year? What's the identity of the football team? I don't know.
So Saquon was not very good last year. The offensive line was flatly bad last year. The play calling was pathetic. And that might sound like, oh, you're not putting anything on Hurts. No, Hurts was a part of the problem as well. But look, there's a lot of people who sometimes they just make everything about the quarterback, right? And that's just not how it works, guys. And like, you can't sit here and tell me that Hurts, he's not Josh Allen, he's not Mahomes, he's not Lamar, he's not Burrow. Also, he determines everything. Like, that doesn't really line up. Philly had issues elsewhere last year that were on full display in the playoff game against the Niners. They couldn't move the ball all game, and then they got in a 2-minute hurry-up drill, and they walked right down the field. Guys, Tom Brady would do Eagle games. Every single week he'd go, gosh, if they do some hurry-up. And then immediately they'd do some hurry-up, 2-minute warning, and they'd look like a completely different football team. I cannot tell you how excited
that's
people
what I'm
are
saying
about Patullo getting out of that building, Gabe. Like
we
really,
talk about
really thrilled.
We talk about the tempo being consistently inconsistent or streaky.
Yeah.
But the Eagles are a classic example of that. Like, they could be one team in the one quarter and another team.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You don't know, right? Like, I'm speaking specifically on offense, right?
Yes.
You don't know. They'll throw the ball 13 times in a row, like incomplete, or, they'll take Barkley out. Like, they do some weird things often. Listen, I think it's going to be a battle for them. And I will be, listen, I like Lemon a lot. I think he's a really good player. All right?
Okay.
But there has to be a little bit of concern about this wide receiver room right now, in my opinion. Right? You're putting a lot on Devontae here. Like Devontae, you know what I mean? You're putting a lot on Devontae on his shoulders.
Devontae is very talented. One, and go back to your initial Gabe, they probably threw a little too much last year. They don't need two superstar wide receivers for this football team to make sense. We'll be right back with all the picks for the rest of the slate after the break. All right, guys, back right here on SportsGrid. We're going to close this thing out in style. A couple of picks on the way here. Yesterday, the Marlins-Phillies live over was good. Today, not so much, huh? That thing is still 1-0. Happens, all good. Plus, secretly, look, you never know, right? We could always sneak something out here. The WNBA, though, is going to get a lot of focus for myself. I know Gabe as well. For the rest of this slate here, Gabe, I know the TBT's been going well as you. So catch people up what happened in that league and then rip through the rest of your picks for tonight's action.
Well, you know what we told you at the top of the program. I don't like going against a team that I took last night with the Red Rose War ready. But I thought Davis Steel were the better team. Davis Steel win 83-67, comfortable victory. We told you at the half we like the over 144.5. It ends up getting to 150 when it's all said and done. So a nice start for us with the picks here. We gave it the Yankees. They're up 3-0. We gave it the Cubs. They're up 7-0. We gave it Davis Steel. We'll look to keep it rolling with a couple of late-night baseball games and some TBT action, and we're going to throw the WNBA in here. But give me a Heartfire Elite. Heartfire Elite. We're going to go against our crew, the Mecca. I like this Mecca crew. I like a lot of their players, the LA crew, but I think Heartfire Elite going to be too much for them tonight. Give me Heartfire Elite on the money line. Give me the Houston Astros, minus 106 tonight against the Angels. Give me the Boston Red Sox, minus 146 against the Athletics tonight. Fever and the Storm, over 184.5. I'm playing Flo J. Johnson over 14.5 points, and Caitlin Clark over 8.5 assists as well. Let's rock.
I like the Boston.
And if you're real degenerate, Heartfire Elite and the Mecca, most of these TBT games go under. This one, they already played like a couple of days ago, and it was 90-84 final score for Heartfire Elite. Okay. So the total's like 148.5 tonight, and they just played to a 174. I would say the over if you want to get in on that.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just going to say on the Boston side of things, I like a Red Sox pick. I was thinking of playing the under in that game, but I did scare myself off with it being Sacramento, but the 10 looked maybe a bit high. We mentioned the Dodgers and the Mariners game. That total looked a little high with Wroblewski and Castillo getting the ball. One total that may prove to be too high or 20 points light is the Storm and the Fever. I'm going to take a chance on that under, but I do think there are some good in-game player props. Gabe mentioned Flo J. Our fam, if Dominique Malanga is out. Caitlin Clark has really been thriving, whether it be the points, the assist market. She's been super impressive. The one game we haven't talked about, the Liberty and the Sparks tonight. New York won 2 straight games heading into the All-Star break, each by a point. This is a team who are the preseason favorites to win this league, to win this championship. And, well, I don't think they're going to do that, and I had some reservations about this team and played their win total to the under. I do think they found a little momentum, and I think that break might have came at the right time to kind of reset and feel good about those 2 victories here. Now, I don't love the Sparks huge losing streak, 11 or 5 in a row. I do wonder if they have a little something here. So I'm just going to play a Liberty team total over. Okay? 93.5. I think they could score 100. For me, the Liberty gelling is all about the offensive side of the basketball. It's Stewie and Sabrina getting on that same page, Gabe. So that's how I'm going to play Sparks Liberty tonight. Also, Las Vegas, really, really big favorites on Portland.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've already given a lot of plays, but I don't mind a New York Liberty to win the game, Las Vegas Aces to win the game, moneyline parlay, minus 143, Kevin. Sounds like a winner to me. I think the Liberty will handle it. I'm not the biggest Liberty backer. I fade them. I don't really bet on them too much, but I don't think much of the Sparks, and the Sparks are about to trade people, and I don't know what the hell the Sparks plan is, to be honest with you. But so give me the Liberty tonight, and moneyline parlay. Sparks lose to the Liberty, and Las Vegas beat Portland tonight. Minus 143 is not a bad price for that, actually.
No, it's interesting. I thought maybe it would be a little bit better, but they're just so confident Vegas will roll Portland tonight. We've talked about that Fire group, though, Gabe. They can be cover machines occasionally. We've seen them have that ability. So I'm not saying I think Vegas lose, but 12.5?
Vegas do play down to the level of competition sometimes, too. Right, they'll sort of walk it up, and they can sort of flick the switch and win the game at any time. We see that often with Vegas. Oftentimes you see that with Vegas. I'd like to see. We'll get into that tomorrow. I'd like to see their first half ATS numbers because they often start slow.
Yeah, well, guys, we will be right back here tomorrow on In Game Live. SportsGrid will see you then.
Come in a lot more better prepared to play than say we did, having to learn some of the things that we learned coming into the NFL that we weren't learning in college. A lot of these kids are getting quarterback coaches, as far back as junior high school and all the way through high school into college. So I think the position is a lot more stronger than it's ever been.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Atlanta should be the team to step up and secure him.
Yeah, Atlanta's really interesting because they're much further down the list at only 8% right now on Call Sheet, but this is a team that has constantly come up in terms of GMs thinking, or the reports suggesting that GMs are thinking that Atlanta Braves are the dark horse team to kind of swoop in there and get Scoogle, and that's going to be something that we should pay attention to.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Wembanyama goes to the park and plays chess against people. I saw him come in with a book today. Yeah. He walked in with a book, Kevin. He had a bunch of books in his hand. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, he's the only NBA player that actually walks in with a book that actually read it.
Yeah. It's a good take. It's a good take. Yeah.
Shot of LeBron.
Listen,
I couldn't help
I
it.
knew that I was trying to cut you off before you said the name.
In Game Live, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The show is about to begin.
Dude, that's Smiley Kaufman for 61. Wow.
Featuring Smiley Kaufman.
If you're around a local IHOP at a PGA Tour event, you might see Hideki Matsuyama.
Clear up in the stance, strengthen the grip.